Hey, everybody, welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm here with Steph Zamorano, the miserable liberal, and Ron Placone.
Hello.
Hello, Jimmy.
Hi. Ron Placone does not have a nickname yet.
Some people call me Radical Ron.
Oh, I call him...
Because of your comments on my hair. That's how it started on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Some people... one day you were like, your hair's looking a little radical today.
Oh,
Radical
And a couple
Ron.
of people started calling me Radical Ron.
I like it. Radical
Yeah.
Ron.
He is.
So, you know you're supposed to be afraid of Russia, Radical Ron.
Of course.
If you're afraid of anybody else, you're wrong, because it's Russia. They've, they spend almost $45 billion on their military a year, which we spend in about 5 seconds. So anyway, that's not Jimmy. Here's the new head of the FBI, and what he's got to say about China just may surprise you, or will it? Hey, I wonder if the intelligence community wants us to keep us in a state of perpetual fear. Let's see. Here he is talking in Aspen with Lester Holt. Hi, I'm Lester Holt.
But I do want to talk about China. Do you, from your perspective and the things that you're looking at, do you see China as an adversary, and if so, on what levels?
And when did douchebags stop doing this? When does that end? That's never ending.
The flag pin?
This started after 9/11. You had to wear a flag on your lapel, or you weren't patriot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a flag. That looks like a flag.
Totally looks like
it does
a
from here.
It looks like a flag from here, JD.
Yeah.
It is not a flag.
Oh, okay.
It is something. I bet it's some kind of FBI pin. Because when you're up close on it, it's not. There's no stripes or anything. Okay, back to this.
Well, then he's not a patriot.
Well, I think China...
He's not a patriot. Why wouldn't he be wearing a flag? Here we go.
From a counterintelligence perspective, in many ways represents the broadest, most challenging, most significant threat we face as a country.
Yeah. Oh my God, I was just shitting my pants over Russia. Now I have to clean them out and shit them again over China. I don't have enough shit in me.
And it's not laundry day for a while.
Oh,
what are we going to do?
You can't disagree with him. He's from our intelligence community.
They've never gotten it wrong before.
Never, ever gotten it wrong. And if you disagree with him, how dare you?
Treason.
Treason. Dissent is not patriotic.
No.
And I say that because for them, it is a whole of state effort. It is economic espionage as well as traditional espionage. It is non-traditional collectors as well as traditional intelligence operatives. It's human sources as well as cyber means. We have economic espionage investigations in every state, all 50 states, that trace back to China.
Every state, they have an investigation that goes back to China. How come nobody's been talking about this until this jagoff went to Aspen?
You know, I don't know what his main course is going to be, but this word salad appetizer was delicious.
It was fantastic.
Wasn't it?
They're doing economic espionage as well as traditional. I like the traditional ones. That's where the man and a woman get together and get married and espionage you.
There's a partridge and a pear tree. They have it all.
They have it all. Traditional.
You know what? On all this nefarious behavior, they're able to trace back to China. I think at some point they should be able to trace something back to Wall Street.
Maybe something.
One thing?
5.1 million families being kicked out of their house. Did China do that? No, Goldman Sachs did that.
Covers everything from corn seeds in Iowa to wind turbines in Massachusetts and everything in between.
So you should, again, just be, there's never a moment you shouldn't be scared. There's never a moment you shouldn't be overwhelmed with the amount of sabotage happening to your country from outside forces, even though they have nothing to do with why your wife sucks. Damn it, these guys. Of course, he has to stay employed. He's the head spook over at the FBI. He's got to stay employed. He's got to make everyone shitting their pants constantly.
Yeah, they see war as an economic opportunity.
That's exactly right.
These are the people you're supposed to listen to. They're going to save our democracy. The people that love the war economy.
Right. So this is if your only tool is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail.
Exactly.
That's what this guy is. Every problem has to be a crime fighting, intelligence fighting. It has to be. You got to be scared. There's always a.
And so the volume of it, the pervasiveness of it, the significance of it is something that I think this country cannot underestimate.
Are they going after things that
You don't underestimate the scariness of their stuff over in China. Do not. If you do that, if you sleep soundly one night this week, you're doing it wrong.
differently than, for example, what you've been seeing with the Russians and our democratic process?
If it's a different kind of threat. Obviously, the Russia threat is significant.
It's a different because China they haven't done any Facebook memes yet.
It's a different kind of threat. It's not as far along in our bullshit think tank, so it's a little earlier in the stages.
Neera Tanden and Robbie Mook haven't gone over it yet with their bullshit while drinking a milkshake from Shake Shack.
That I think we need to deal with very aggressively indeed. But I think the China threat, China is trying to position itself as the sole dominant superpower, the sole dominant economic power. They're trying to replace the United States in that role.
And we should go to war over that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's just talking about they're having a better economy. They're getting their brand of capitalism is beating our brand of capitalism, and he's saying that's a national security issue, and that we should probably go to war over economics, which is what we go to war for every time anyway.
And so theirs is a long-term game that is focused on, as I said, just about every industry, every quarter of society in many ways. It involves academia, it involves research and development. It involves everything from agriculture to high tech. And so there's
everything, everywhere, every corner, under every bed, in every garage, there's going to be a China guy.
And academia is in on it too. You can move over to China and major in overthrowing America.
That's right.
It's a thing you can do.
It's as I said, a more pervasive, a broader approach, but in many ways more of a long-term threat to the country.
You clearly see it as a major threat, but do you have a sense that we don't, that...
I mean, the people who view my news show, are they not sufficiently shitting their pants for you? Right? They're not, right? Come on. I mean, I smell a few farts, but that is not a load. Right? I mean, come on. I mean, you're scary. You're scaring me. I'm farting.
Not enough attention is paid to it in general.
One of the bright spots that I have observed in my first 10 plus months on the job is on this issue. In that, it's one of the few things I've seen that in a country where sometimes it feels like people can't even agree what day of the week it is, on this, I think people are starting to come together. I see it in the interagency. I see it up on the Hill when I...
Oh, fantastic. Isn't that nice? You know, like how we all came together in Iraq, and how we all came together for Afghanistan, and how we all came together for Libya, and how we all came together for Syria, right? You know, it's like how we all came together for those horrible things. Well, we're coming together for some more horrible things. Whenever you hear there's a bipartisanship, as George Carlin told us, there's an extra heaping shit coming your way.
You know, if you want to work here, what are your thoughts on war with China? Because if you're not into it, Casual Fridays are going to be a drag for you. Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Talking to the intelligence committees across the spectrum. So I think people are starting to wake up and kind of rub the cobwebs or the sleep.
People are starting to wake up to being scared to death of China. That's what he's saying. People are, they haven't really been sufficiently afraid of China, and now they are. And what I'm doing right now is, and you're helping, Lester, appreciate it, being completely non-skeptical in this interview at all. No pushback, not even for a frickin' second. I'm Lester Holt. I wonder if he went to college. None of these guys seem to have gone to college. Chuck Todd didn't finish, right?
No, Chuck Todd didn't finish.
Willie Geist, did he go to college? I bet he did.
Out of their eyes.
That's it. That's it. That's the whole thing. Whew. Okay. You thought you had to be worried about Russia. No, it's China. And they're in every state. They're from corn to windmills, from Boston to San Antonio, from here to academia to there. They're in everything, everywhere, around every corner, under every bed. There's a China person trying to screw you.
So, fun fact, Lester Holt went to CSU, But he did not graduate.
Did not
Oh,
graduate.
Lester, what happened?
Did not graduate.
Maybe
Why is it that these news guys don't graduate? Brian Williams didn't graduate college. Lester Holt, Chuck Todd. These are our news guys over at NBC. And now you know why they're chosen? Because they're mush-brained. And they're easy to manipulate. And they'll do the bidding for $30,000 a day. That's why they're chosen. Do you ever watch broadcast news? Those guys are chosen. Those guys don't achieve. They're chosen. Jesus Christ, huh? I was joking about Lester Holt, and he didn't finish.
He didn't finish.
So, Jimmy, I have a question. Okay, so since we got into war, I thought China bankrolled our war for us. So how are we so worried about China?
Well, yeah, because that's what I was. Remember that they're the one buying all our bonds. They're floating our debt. They're all that stuff. If China calls it, so what they're really doing is what you're pointing out is that they're financing our military-industrial complex.
So are they going to finance a war against themselves?
Against themselves? I don't know. We'll see.
So according to this one article, this is thebalance.com, it says China has consistently held more than $1 trillion in U.S. debt every year since 2010.
Wow. So what I used to say when I was making fun of George Bush and the Iraq War in my stand-up act, I would say, so we're a bunch of capitalists borrowing money from a bunch of communists so we can bring democracy to a bunch of Muslims who don't even fucking want it. And we're not bringing democracy to them, by the way. We're bringing corporatism. If that's what we're trying to install in Afghanistan, we're not trying to install anything else. We're not even trying to install anything. We're just occupying that place forever. Why? Because there's a lot of money in it. That's why. A lot of money in occupation. Okay. There you go. You should be afraid. Stay very afraid. Always. I'm the FBI.
Go home and shit your pants.
If you're driving, shit your pants right now while driving. Please make sure you're subscribed. Even if you think you are, you probably aren't. It only takes a second. Check to make sure you're subscribed and then click that bell. If you click the bell, they'll send you a notification when we drop videos. Otherwise, they won't notify you. And they still might not, but that's all we can do to fight against the bastards. And please become a patron. You support the show. We give you hours of bonus content every week. Plus, we do a live stream most Saturdays at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Thanks for your support.